morning, gorgeous. It's great to see you, and it's lovely to be out here, and it's nice that it's not raining, because it's been like someone's been turning off a spigot, on and off, on and off, on and off, but right now it's not. So let me show you the day. Here it is, and I'm just looking. The wind isn't coming very far from anywhere. I think it's actually coming from the west at the moment. Good morning, Mike. So here's our cloudy and kind of mild morning. Good morning, Misty. It's lovely to see you. And there is a sun over there, I promise. And it turned out that we had to postpone the Heartfield because too many people couldn't make it. So we're here at our normal time, and there is the sky just above us. And here is the wattle, acacia, another name for it, and you can see the buds. They will flower in the middle of winter in June or something. So it gets started early. And there's the garden. And it's all just sort of growing and green because it started raining again. There it is. You can see the circle garden there, being circular. So there's not an awful lot of flowers to show you, but we have a few of these white Japanese anemones, and they're gorgeous. Just I've planted them in the hardest place in the entire garden, but you see there's a sprinkling of them up there underneath the magnolia. Now let me just not fall down the stairs. And this is really the corner where there are still flowers. We've got the pink Japanese anemone saying, thank God there's water. Now I'm going to flower again. And of course the New Zealand hebe that just keeps on going and going and going. It's like an Energizer battery, it never stops. So there you are, pink and white. If I line them up, yeah, you know, it's kind of a... So there we are. G'day Sandy, it's lovely to see you. And look at the beautiful ginkgo foliage. Let me walk up there. I just love this. I just love this tree. And it is a tree now, and it's growing quite well, so that's great. Alright, let me... Oh look, something I haven't really noticed. Look at the back of these flowers. They're darker on the back. That colour is beautiful. Look at that. So, okay, walking down through the Nigella. There's going to be clouds of Nigella next season. But we've got winter to do first. Autumn and winter. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's great to be here. And today's topic came straight out of a really good question that one of you, you made a comment really. It wasn't a question, it was just a comment of, oh my God, I'm surrounded by people who dump shit on me. And it's hard and it's depressing and, you know, oh my goodness, so many people have this challenge. And I thought this is a really, you know, this is a hot topic. This is a challenge that many people face. And oh shit, I don't face it. What the hell am I going to say that's at all useful? So, oh, beautiful little green leaves. Yeah, it's amazing how things that look like they're dead can start to grow, Misty. And that's a beautiful thing that you were appreciating. And we're talking about appreciation today. Because I was thinking, I was actually walking up and down in my office. As I walk around out here, this is my office too, thinking, what am I going to say that's useful? I don't live in the midst of nasty people dumping shit on me. What am I going to say? And it was pretty much a massive light bulb, and I kind of went, oh my God, that's what I need to say. And I remembered something. You see, it's like the way, and see, I'm holding a book here, which, you know, because I'm going to read you a little bit in the book because it's important. There was a connection. I could feel my brain working, and my brain was sorting through possibilities and neural nets and things, and I went, aha, here's a match. And the match was something that I read in an article that I read from one of Dr. Joe's newsletters. And it was an article about appreciation. And this person who was quoted in the article, who was teaching appreciation to inner city teens, I think in a big US city, and these teens were not having a happy life. They lived in very challenging circumstances. It was very difficult for them. But this teacher was saying that, you know, when you teach kids appreciation and they learn how to appreciate small things and people and in life, they just become really powerful and they can turn themselves around. And she wrote about the article wrote about this lady explaining there was this brother and this sister, and they lived in a very difficult situation, very, you know, troubled family. And they were learning this thing and struggling with it, finding it hard. And then one day they came to school, and the boy, the young man, not a boy, the young man had bought a rose because he had been going past a rose bush on his way to school for a little while. G'day, Lindsay! And he saw this rose and he picked it because it was something he could appreciate. And his sister said, hey, my mother smiled at me today and I appreciate that. And they had learned to find really small things in the middle of really difficult circumstances. And there's a great story in this book about how one of the authors found appreciation got him through an army boot camp. And it got him so through an army boot camp that by the time the boot camp was over, he was so much in appreciation of everything, even though it was difficult, that he didn't want it to end. So let me read you this little thing. All right, this is awkward with only two hands. I need a third arm. Right, so I just want to bring a little voice of somebody else in on this thing. So what is appreciation? So this is what the Heart Math Solution says about it. Generally, appreciation means some blend of thankfulness, admiration, approval, and gratitude. So, full marks, Lindsay. In the financial world, something that appreciates grows in value. But the power tool of appreciation, and they're talking about heart power tools, these are things that will power up your heart. With the power tool of appreciation, you get the benefit of both perspectives. As you learn to be consistently thankful and approving, your life will grow in value. So, and I'll just read a little bit more of this. As you remember from Chapter 2, which of course you haven't read, participants in a research study created an efficient, healthy state of entrainment depicted in the coherent heart rhythm shown in a particular picture. Hi, Morek! What that means is that they had got their brain and their heart in sync. You know how I keep talking about the fact that when you get your heart coherent, your brain's going to become coherent, and when you get your brain coherent, your heart's going to become coherent, and when those two are talking to each other, you feel better and your body heals and all kinds of things change in your life. So that's entrainment, when they're talking to each other. It's like being on the same wavelength, literally. So, healthy state of entrainment by deliberately, hang on to this, deliberately generating a feeling of appreciation. That was how they did it. That is the how. Amy, it's you! Yay! So, in that state of entrainment, the two main branches of the autonomic nervous system. Now there's two branches, right? There's the fight or flight, that's the stress response, and there's rest and digest. And that's your, I'm feeling good and I'm relaxed and I can fix my body and heal and create and have a good time. So there's two arms of the autonomic nervous system. They're both really important. But if they get out of balance, so do you. So, by deliberately generating a feeling of appreciation, in that state of entrainment, the two main branches of the autonomic nervous system are synchronized. Enjoying just enough stimulation, that's the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, and just enough relaxation. That's the parasympathetic, the rest and digest. Appreciation is a powerful force. It eats the stress response for breakfast. And the stress response is what drives depression and anxiety and everything else. So, I'll carry on reading a bit more. You can be confident that as you focus on sincere feelings of appreciation, your nervous system will naturally come into balance. Biologically, all of the systems in your body, including your brain, will work in greater harmony. The electromagnetic field radiating from your body will resonate with the ordered, coherent pattern emitted by your heart, and every cell in your system will benefit. That is how powerful appreciation is. I'm going to put the book down now so I have another hand to wave in the air and be generally two-handed with. Put on the back steps because everything else is wet. Robin, good morning. No, it's lovely to meet you. So that's the power of appreciation, is really finding something, anything to appreciate. And and sometimes you need to, lock you up. You need to allow, that's quite right, but even in the most difficult circumstances, there is always something to appreciate. And the power of finding something to appreciate, like, oh my goodness, there's something that's dead, but I can see life in it. That's something to appreciate. to generate the feeling of appreciation of yourself, that you can do that, of the fact that you saw beauty where maybe there isn't some, of the fact that you see light and beauty in someone else. That's you that's perceiving that. That's something to appreciate. For me, the fact that I'm standing in my back garden, oh my God, I appreciate that. That the air is clean and fresh, and, currently nobody's shouting at me. Every cell in your body starts to resonate with it. And that's great. Okay, yeah, a song, you listen to it and it brings up those feelings. So no matter where you are, and if there's people that are dumping shit on you, right, that's really in your face. Remember, that's what I wanted to talk about. It's really in your face when people are being horrible. And like I say, it's been a long time since I faced that. So, I want to make it very clear, and hopefully I'm not standing here talking out of a hole in my, arse, that this is actually useful. There is always something that you can find to put your attention on that isn't the awful, that isn't the difficult, that isn't the, oh my God, how awful that is, and how wrong that is, and how much I wish they'd change. Because if you are putting your attention into, oh my God, I wish it was different, you are affirming the fact that you wish that it's different. And it's disempowering, because you can't change other people. If it's in that situation where people are dumping shit on you, you don't have the ability to change that. You don't. And so being in the place of thinking, oh God, I wish it was different. Oh man, it's so awful. Oh my God, I can't change this. So the more you affirm that, the worse it feels, right? You just can't. Well, you can do that. And people do that because it seems like that's the only choice they have. There's nothing else. Well, I can't change those people. All I can do is feel miserable about the fact that I can't change them. But that's saying that you don't have any ability to change your own internal state of being, and you do. I just read to you about that. And this isn't just somebody going, oh, this is a great idea. There's science to show that this works. Now, the rub is that when people are around you being horrible to you, and they're in your face and you can't get away, and there's lots of people in that situation, it's extremely challenging to think, let alone feel, greater than your circumstances. It's extremely challenging. It takes a great effort of will to say, oh my God, that shitty teenager just, whatevered me again. And right at that moment, it's like, okay, what am I affirming with this? Yeah, kids are so tough. And Lindsay, I have no idea, because I'm not a parent. And I chose that very consciously. It wasn't, oh my God, I can't have kids. It was like, no, I don't want to have kids. So I have immense respect for parents, because, oh my God, what a journey. It's just not what I wanted to do in life, ever. So a little bit like that teenager that I mentioned earlier, who was taught to appreciate, and finally, oh my God, my mum smiled at me just once. My mother smiled at me once today. And that was something that she could appreciate because she learned to do it. So if you flip that around and you have challenging teenagers, challenging children, challenging spouses, challenging workmates, oh my God, that's hard. Because you're with your workmates, 8 hours a day if you work full time. To look past all of that, and you actually have to put your feelings aside, because remember, if those are feelings that you're feeling all the time, your body is conditioned to them, and your external circumstances actually help your body, the addict, to continue to get that chemistry and to continue to have that experience, which has become normal for you. And that's really tough, because you think it's because of all those shitty people, but your body is going, this is great, I'm getting my fix. So you've got to get beyond all of that. Oh my God, yeah, 16, 17-year-old boys, they're right in that stage. They have to find their individuality, but it's tough. That's about all I know. It's really challenging. But all I can think of is that something that I've known for a long time is that I need to put my attention and my energy onto the behaviour, the things, the whatever it is that I want, not on what I don't want. And I do know that even if teenagers don't say it, they notice when you change this. They notice when you look past the 99 things that you think were different, wish were different, and go, son, that was good, well done, or I really appreciate you for whatever, or you look handsome today. Find something to appreciate, because, after they get over the shock, the first 5, 10, 15, 20, however long time, and it can take a long time, I know that too. It doesn't, because you've built up a habit and a pattern and a dynamic and an energy, an energetic bond between you and them with them too, about how we wind mum up, or grandma, or whoever you are. Sorry, I don't know the connection. And so you have to actually break those energetic bonds by choosing a different state of being, and appreciation is a very practical and powerful way to do this. It's a big choice. It really is, and it's moment to moment to moment to moment, and you may not get feedback on the outside of you. Mama, oh bless you, Lindsay. So challenging journey. Oh my God. And you think, what the hell? These were the kids I loved, and they were good friends, but they're in the middle of individuating, and that is what they do. And there's all this remodeling happening in their brains. God, I don't know enough. If you do a little study, find out what's happening in a teenager's brain. What I do know, but I don't know how long this lasts for, is that when they hit puberty, there's a period of time where half of the connections in their brain get pruned away. A whole lot of stuff gets taken out. And so their brains aren't working the same, and it's different for boys than it is for girls as well. It's challenging, it is, but get some information about what's going on in their heads, because that will actually really help you. Neuroscience of puberty or something like that. Find out, because you'll understand better. And they've also got huge amounts of testosterone roaring through their bodies. They don't understand that it makes them feel like giving everybody the finger, especially you, There's just so much that's going on at a physical level that makes it difficult. So find out about that. I'm sure you'll be able to get some information. And start looking for things that you can appreciate. It doesn't mean you stop stating the boundaries and setting the limits and asking for the behaviour that you want. Of course not. I can say that not being a parent. I mean, that just makes sense. But it does mean that when you see something, anything, no matter how small it is, that you like, you reinforce that. You reinforce that. You pick on the one thing that you like, and you land on that and say, son, that was great. And don't expect anything back. But celebrate yourself, because you made the change. Again, this is the power of you taking your power back and saying, well, if I put energy into the behaviour I want to see, it's going to grow. If I appreciate the behaviour I want, then it's going to grow. Oh my God, and they're dealing with their dad walking out on them. Yeah, that's really rugged. So you get to be there to handle all of their reactions that they don't know what to do with all of that. That's very challenging. And Lindsay, they're blessed that they have you. But it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So appreciation is just one thing that you can do. And don't make them victims. Remember that at the most base level, every single one of us that comes in to be human at this time, at any time, chooses the major setups in our lives. And they don't see it because they're unconscious, because they're young and they don't have the experience. They're just, awash with all the hormones and everything else that's going on, the neural pruning. It's a big time inside your head when you're a teenager. But for you see, and I better stop talking about kids because I really don't know that much. This is about all I know, and I've learned it listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza, of course, because he's a really good parent. And so stop casting yourself in the role of the victim as well. And appreciate everything you are doing, because you're there. And you're not quitting on them. Make a long list of all the things that you're doing well, that because it's so hard, you're not even aware of how well you're doing it. Yeah, acknowledge, totally. We need to acknowledge and celebrate ourselves. So it's like, And this is very challenging because mothers, especially single mothers, single fathers, single parents, they're so busy in survival, dealing with life, paying bills, running people around, doing whatever you have to do. They don't look after themselves very much, and they don't take time for themselves, and you really need to. So, it's a big conversation. Like I say, I've got to be careful I don't talk out of a hole in my backside because I'm not a parent. But this is what I know. With children, you never say what you don't want. I mean, obviously if they're about to jump off a cliff, no, don't jump off the bloody cliff. That's what screaming at a child is for, if they're about to die. It's like, ah! But as much as you can, reinforce the behaviour you want, no matter how small it is. It's the same. I know this is the same thing with training horses, particularly horses that have been traumatised or had a difficult time. Because, there's whole science about it. And sometimes I just watch little videos on YouTube because I enjoy that. G'day, Shafi. It's lovely to see you. And Abigail, I don't think I greeted you. It's great to see you, honey. The thing with a horse that's reacting is you've got to find a way to reinforce the behaviour you want. And you've got to keep asking for what you want. But when you get the slightest thing that you do want, you've got to celebrate that. And take the ask away and just give it some space to get used to the idea that it's succeeded. So they have to experience some success. And you've got to give yourself the experience of success too. And so appreciation's a really good way to do that. Appreciation is a really good way to do that. Let me check the time. We're done. It's exactly on time. So that's the thing. If you're feeling depressed, down, beaten up by circumstances and people and everything else, it's not a magic formula. You really have to keep doing this. It needs to become a habit. Andrew, good morning. It needs to be a habit. It needs to be something you just do all the time. Oh, feck, I feel like shit. What can I appreciate right now? Even if it's just you've got clean air to breathe or water to drink. Really basic things. There are people who are struggling with bad air and bad water. So, there's so much we can take for granted. Appreciation, if you consistently do it, it's going to help you change. There's much more, but this is one of the heart power tools. So, awesome conversation. Thank you so much for participating. Big love. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.